Yo, what is going on, guys? Trusty Thrusty or Trust Chill here. I hope each and every one of you guys is having an awesome, great, and safe day. Today, I got a pretty special story for you guys. I recorded this video yesterday, but I just really didn't like how it turned out. My voice sounded really ghetto, really weird. I just didn't really fucking like the video because the audio was bad and just everything about the video wasn't good to me. So I wanted to do more of like a redo to the story time because I didn't like how it turned out. It was like fucking 13 minutes. The audio was very shitty. The video's editing was very shitty, and I just really didn't like how the video turned out. So it's actually 9:30 at night right now, and I'm gonna be uploading this fucking tonight. So anyone that's watching this video on Wednesday, you're a fucking real one because I'm about to record this, edit this, and get this up with before 12 o'clock because I'm not missing a daily upload. I've been uploading for about 4 months every day. But yeah, today I got a pretty fucking crazy story for you guys. This story took place back in 9th grade year, like every one of my fucking stories does. And the reason why I remember this story was I have this one good friend. His name is Mac, and he was actually the friend that I talked about in the Ghost Pepper High story, if any of you guys saw that like a day or two ago. And he's just a very good friend of mine, and me and him used to be friends a lot. We're not really friends anymore just because of he's more into sports and shit like that, and I'm really into video games and YouTube and just photography. I fucking love gaming and doing YouTube, and just, you know, I really do enjoy photography and just, you know, like more like hype beast kind of art. You know, I have my own sense of like art and shit like that. And he's just more into sports and girls and shit like that. But essentially, back in 9th grade year, me and him used to be really good friends. Essentially, back in 9th grade year, me and him used to be kind of good friends. And I was actually pretty cool with his mom. Whenever I used to go over to his house, I used to always go over and just talk to his mom. And his mom's a really chill lady. She doesn't like vaping or anything, but she's more of like a stricter kind of a chill lady. And she's pretty nice. And I would always go over there and kind of talk to his mom and talk to him. And it was just always like a good time whenever I went over to his house. And you know, they would often invite me to go on trips with them because I was pretty close with him and his family. So they would always kind of invite me to go on trips with them because whenever my friend had to go on trips with his mom and a couple of his siblings, he wouldn't have anyone to hang out with. So he would invite me to go on trips. And sometimes his sister would get to bring one of her friends too as well, so it was pretty fucking sick. Yeah, essentially, they used to just invite me to go on trips, and it used to be very chill. I used to really enjoy it because, you know, I used to get away from my family. If you guys know me, you know, I have like fucking 10 siblings, so whenever I get to get out of my house and kind of just get away from my siblings, it's very nice. I really do. I always like being around people, even though I'm a very antisocial person. I do like being around people. I'm a very talkative person. If you know me, you know I'm very quiet, but I'm very talkative, if that makes any sense. Essentially, he invited me to go on this trip, and you know, I was really hyped because we were going to go up to North Carolina, and his mom had rented this Airbnb cabin up in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and it was going to be really lit. The only problem with it, there was going to be no Wi-Fi, which is kind of fucked. So the first 2 days of the trip weren't bad. We get to this cabin, and it was very chill. It was a very chill cabin. I really didn't mind it too much. It just kind of fucking sucked because, you know, we didn't have any Wi-Fi or anything to do. Like the third or fourth day of the trip, we were planning on going up to this city called Asheville in North Carolina. If any of you guys live out in North Carolina, you know what city I'm talking about. And it's a pretty chill city. I've actually been there like once or twice, but this was going to be my first time ever going to Asheville, so I was kind of hyped for it. And his cousin had actually came up and stayed in this cabin with us the night before. And my friend Mac, he had told me that his cousin was really trustworthy, so I didn't really give a fuck, and I kind of vaped around his cousin because his cousin jeweled, and I vaped around his cousin and jeweled around his cousin a little bit because my friend had told me that his cousin was trustworthy. He was like, my cousin's trustworthy. My cousin does all this shit, and I'm like, okay, are you sure he's trustworthy though? And my friend was like, yeah, he's trustworthy. Trust me. You know, I kind of believed my friend, but later in the story, you'll hear why he fucking isn't trustworthy. It was the next morning after I'd finished vape session with his cousin, and we were planning on going to the city called Asheville, and I was really looking forward to it. And it's like the first 3 hours of the trip were pretty chill, and so we're sitting at this like one burger joint up in Asheville eating some burgers, and these burgers were really fucking good. They were really expensive, but they were very good. I remember my friend's sister actually bitched at him because he asked his mom to buy him a Coke. And his Cokes are like, they were like fucking $4, but his sister bitched at him, and she's like, why are you getting a $4 Coke? I just remember his sister being one of the most bitchy girls out there. I just thought it was kind of funny that his sister bitched at him for asking his mom to get him a $4 Coke, even though his mom's like a very chill. She's kind of wealthy too, so she doesn't really need to worry about. She's kind of wealthy too, so she doesn't really need about that shit. We're kind of sitting at this burger joint, kind of eating burgers, and my friend looks at me and he pulls out his phone, and he's like John, and he shoves his like phone into my face, and on his phone it says, she knows. And I'm like, kind of like give him like the what with my hands. I'm kind of like, what the fuck? So I kind of just give him like a kind of confused look. And my friend like, can you come over? Can you come get a water with me, John? And I'm like, okay. So I walk over, go get a water with my friend. Essentially, as we're getting water, he proceeds to tell me that his sister, not the nice one, because he has a nice sister. One of his sisters is a very chill. She's a very introverted person like me. She's very nice. But the sister the bitchy sister, actually found out that I vape. So I look at him and I'm like, how the fuck did she find out that I vape? And he proceeds to tell me that his cousin Zach and his sister and his other sister and his sister's friend were all in the car driving up to Asheville, and his cousin Zach just decided to tell his bitchy sister, not the chill, not the understanding sister, his bitchy sister, that I vape. And so I look at him and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would he do that? You told me he was trustworthy, because my friend had told me that his cousin was trustworthy. So I was fucking pissed off. I was like, why? How the fuck did he tell on me? Why did he do it? You know, essentially, I'm kind of pissed off at him. So I'm just kind of freaking out, having kind of like a panic attack. So my first instinct, I walk into the bathroom. I hit my drool a couple times because it might have been my last time hitting it. I sit in the bathroom for like 5 minutes thinking about my life. I'm like, okay, what is the right way to approach this situation? So I just sit in there. I'm like, you know, fuck it. I'm going to handle this like a man. I'm going to talk to his sister. I'm going to talk to his cousin. I'm going to tell both of them to shut the fuck up and not snitch on me. Essentially, we all end up leaving this restaurant after we're done eating burgers, and we end up walking into this antique store. Essentially, we're all kind of walking around in this antique store, and his cousin ends up actually leaving the store with his dog, because his cousin had actually brought this cute little dog up to the mountains, up to this cabin to stay with us for a couple days. So his cousin ends up leaving this antique store with his dog and just sitting outside with his dog. So my first instinct is like, I'm gonna go tell his cousin to shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna tell his cousin to keep his mouth shut. So I end up walking out there fucking pissed as hell, like, cause I'm pissed off at this point, okay? Because my friend ended up telling me that his cousin was trustworthy, but his cousin was just some fucking snitchy fuck. So I go outside, I go up to his cousin, I'm like, why did you tell her that I vape? And keep your fucking mouth shut. Me just being pissed off more than anything. And his cousin was like, I didn't think she would care. I thought she knew you vaped. And he was just being a pussy about it. I'm like, bro, don't do that shit again. And I knew he was scared of me too, because he looked like he was in fucking trouble. But essentially, he was like, okay, I won't do that shit again. He was like, my bad. I thought she would be cool with you vaping. I didn't know that she would give a fuck. So I'm like, okay, just don't do that shit again. We're cool. So I end up walking back into the store, and you know, I'm kind of just walking around there, and you know, I'm kind of just trying to approach his sister, the sister that's gonna snitch, not his cool sister, get me not. And my friend kept coming up to me, and he's like, bro, I'm so sorry. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're fucked. And so I'm like, bro, just get the fuck away from me. You're fucking retarded. And he just kind of left me alone after I said that. And so I'm kind of just walking around the store trying to approach his sister, getting the nerve to approach his sister, because I have some fucking balls, okay? So eventually his sister is kind of walking alone by herself. The bitchy one, the one that's gonna snitch on me, get me not. Finally by herself. So I'm like, this is my only opportunity to approach her and to talk to her to see if she won't snitch on me. So I go up to her, I'm like, and I look at her after I'm like half a foot away from her, and I say, so you know. She kind of laughs. She was like, huh? She's like, yeah, I know, and I think your parents should know that you vape, and I don't want you vaping around Max, so I'm gonna make sure to tell my mom so that your parents know. And I'm like, look at her, and I'm like, my parents already know I vape. They found out back in 8th grade year. I'm not lying at all, and I won't vape around your brother if you don't want me to vape around him. And then I look at her, and I'm like, hey, I vape because I used vaping to quit smoking, and because I used to smoke before I vaped back in when I was 13 years old. I started smoking cigarettes for like 4 months, and then I just started vaping instead. I was never addicted to cigarettes. I smoked a cigarette like every 2 or 3 days, but you know, I just kind of told her the truth. I was like, hey, yeah, I started vaping instead of smoking. Eventually, after I told her why I vape, she was like, okay, well, I won't snitch on you then, but just be careful. And she didn't end up snitching on me. But the funniest part about this, the funniest fucking part, because I have the biggest balls, okay? I deserve a shout out, okay? I approached a person that was gonna fuck me over, that was gonna snitch on me, that was gonna screw up the whole entire fucking trip. And I talked to this person, and I told him the truth, a very real person. And I have some big balls by fucking going up to someone that was gonna snitch on me and talking to them one-on-one and just fucking handling the situation. And shout out to his sister for not snitching on me, even though she fucking could have. Shout out to her. Essentially, the whole rest of the trip was just fucking nerve-wracking. I remember the whole rest of the day, my friend came up to me after, because he saw me talk to her, okay, because we were all in this antique store. And he came up to me, he was like, is she gonna snitch? Is she gonna snitch? I'm like, bro, it's handled. He's like, what does that mean? And he just kept bugging me, and I just didn't really say shit to him because I was fucking pissed off. Kind of fucked, but I actually went on a trip with him in January. It was the same trip that I got high off a ghost pepper on. And on that trip, I ended up getting fucked. His mom ended up finding out, and it wasn't his sister that snitched on me. That's the thing. I actually don't know who snitched on me, but it wasn't his sister, I don't think. But the funniest part is I met his sister's boyfriend, not the one that's nice. His sister, the bitchy sister's boyfriend on that trip. And her sister's boyfriend is like one of the nicest, like chillest dudes. And I was in the car on this January trip with her sister's boyfriend. And this dude told me that he told her not to tell on me. He was texting her, telling her not to snitch on me and all this shit. And like, shout out to her boyfriend, because thanks to me being a real person and me having balls and her boyfriend trying to talk her down from snitching on me, somehow fucking got away with it. But yeah, that's the story of how my best friend's sister caught me vaping. A pretty fucking crazy one, and I would have been fucked. I actually did get fucked on the next trip I went on them, and that's why I don't really hang out with my friend Mac anymore. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this story, make sure to drop a like on it. It's 9:30 at night. I'm gonna have to edit this and get this video up before fucking 12 because I'm not missing a day of uploading. I love this. I'm gonna keep doing daily videos. As much as I do want to just drop out of this YouTube shit and just go back to full-time gaming, I really do love doing YouTube, and it's what makes me happy at the end of each day. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. It's been me. Peace.
I can't find the time, you can't find the time, maybe we should quit joking. I can't stay the same, I can't play a game, I am fresh the tokens. I will follow you to hell and back, but lately I don't know where you're going. It's a different direction. I am sick of finessing, just to get some love, for the sake of us.